Hey everyone, welcome back to FKW. I'm Charlie again. Today we're going to go off topic. It's mid-October. It's gun season, hunting season. And today what we're going to do is look at feed ramps. Because everybody cleans their guns, gets them ready to go, but a lot of times we end up neglecting the feed ramp. So today we're going to get through some basic polishing techniques and we'll get this done for you. I'm going to move you back over to the table. See you in a second. Okay, and we're back. First thing we want to do is make sure our firearm has been safety checked. There is no magazine in here. There is no round in the chamber. It's good, ready to go. And now we're going to do a field strip. Now this happens to be a Glock, so I'm just going to be using this gun for the time being, and I'm going to remove the barrel. Once I remove the barrel, then you'll be able to see your feed ramp right here. Lock that in nice and tight to a vise. Use rubber grips. Now, what we're going to do, I like to use flits, and the reason I use flits is simply because it's not as abrasive as, say, a Brasso or something like that. Simply with a Q-tip, there goes the Rottweiler, home security. Apply that to your feed ramp. And put it on pretty good. Alright. Set this back over here. Now I'm going to use a Dremel. And the Dremel I'm using, and the tip I'm using, actually, has got a hard cotton bullet-shaped tip, as you can see. And I'm going to fire this up. Let's get to work. A little bit into the throat. We're not trying to remove any metal at all. We just want it super smooth polish. Alright. As you can see, it doesn't take very long to get that accomplished. Let's see what we have. Take a shop rag, clean it up just a little bit. And now you can see. Nicely polished, high shine. And what this also will accomplish, as you'll notice, some guns are very fickle on the ammunition that they can take. This can alleviate some of that problem. Obviously, this is not going to alleviate your mag spring, maybe an issue, but this can alleviate some of the jam-o-matic problems you have in certain firearms with certain ammos. And we'll be right back. Let me get you repositioned again. And we're back. Alright, prior to pre-assembly, or reassembly I should say, I'm going to use MPT grease. They're not a sponsor. I just happen to love their grease. As a gunsmith, this is a grease I highly recommend. The viscosity is unbelievable with this product. Small paintbrush. Very lightly get some grease. And gently on the rear of the slide, in the track, Put some in there. You don't need a lot of this stuff. Now, if you're in a colder climate, well, I'm in Florida, you could use a bit more. This is a great winter grease for your firearm. And reassemble. This gun is good to go at this point. Again, that's my 40 cal. Now I'll just do my 9mm. What's nice about this grease also is it doesn't collect a lot of residual garbage when you're out shooting. It's almost a lighter version, if you're used to Glock, of never sees that they usually typically use. And it works fantastic. And as you can see, you don't use much. That little tub right there will last you a lifetime of firearms. That's the barrel we just got done doing. That is now set. And reset your firearm. Now that one's done. You could also use that with revolvers. All you want to do is just get your cylinder rods. Make sure that's all smooth. Everything looks good in here. You want to get maybe your trigger group. Take your grips off if you want to get into your springs. That's good to go. And we'll be back in 1 second. Hey everyone, and we're back. Alright. Now what I was just trying to explain and show to you over at the workbench was simply this. For conditions that you have for failure to feed, typically it's not as bad as you might think it is. Yeah, you'll say, well, I just bought a brand new gun and I paid $350 for this firearm. I get that. But fit and finish on a $300 gun, $200 gun is not going to be equivalent to a $600 firearm, $500, $700, $1,000. So before you go nuts with that, most people when they came to my shop, when I had my FFL, and I had a shop here in town, they'd bring back the gun and they'd say, hey Charlie, this gun just doesn't feed at all. I'm having nothing but issues. I'd say to them, all right, give me a second, let me take care of this for you, no charge. Then bring it back and let me know if this firearm is operating correctly. And what I basically did was the manufacturer's job. I finished their ramp. Simple as that. I'd sit there and I'd polish and polish with my magnifiers on, jeweler's helmet, and I'd get it done. And I'd give them the gun and I'd ask them to please come back. They'd come back and say it was two totally different firearms at that point. They loved it. So you got to remember about your fit and finish. Also, another problem could be that the ramp is not going to solve every problem with finicky guns. Sometimes it's the spring in the mag. The spring is so compressed in the mag, or the metal that they used was inferior, that just the compression is just all wrong and it's not feeding correctly into the firearm. The follower is not moving at the right rate. Typically, sometimes the ramp can pick up the slack on that, except for the final rounds of the firearm, because there's not enough tension to bring the next round into the chamber. Low pressure ammo is another one. That's another thing I used to always ask all my customers. Bring me the ammo. I want to see what you shoot. and I'd look at it, and I'd research that company, and it was 99% of the time it was some off-the-wall brand from I don't know where. And there might be part of your problem. I'd even go with them to the range and shoot their gun to see if maybe they were limp wristing the firearm. Limp wrist is not having the proper tight grip on a firearm, like so, and they got in there and they just limp wristed it to a point where the action itself couldn't cycle because they were taking so much recoil, the action couldn't lock back and set the next round. There's a myriad of issues that can happen with failure to feed. But I've noticed over time that the ramp is typically about 75% of ammo failure to feed. And the rest of it pretty much went to the ammunition itself. All right, I'm going to bring you over to the whiteboard in a second here, and I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay, as you can see, I have semi-handgun rifle, feed ramp maintenance polishing, and then feed problem. 1, ramp polish. 2, slide, oil and cleaning. Or you can use grease, like I prefer to do. Number 3 is the mag spring. As a gunsmith, this is the order I go through to see what's going on. And number 4, ammo for low pressure. Now we'll get into stovepipes also. Might as well, since we're on the subject, you pretty much can eliminate the ramp at this point and mag spring. So now we have a slide condition, possibly an ammo condition, but extractor condition. Alright. Typically what happens here is, again, back to your slide. Cleaning grease, make sure everything's moving correctly, and there's no issues. There's no hang-ups. Then ammo again. Low pressure ammo. Can slide that back and just not allow the extractor to eject the other round, and it gets caught. And then extractor problems. We can eliminate that simple. And this is what I recommend using when it comes to extractor problems. You can disassemble, take the rear plate off the gun, pull your firing pin, pull your extractor, not an issue. Or turn the gun on its butt side up and use powder blast. This is an alcohol-based product. Just let it soak in there. Spray it down in there good, and it's a great solvent, and it'll get rid of all the garbage that's down inside of the firing pin and extractor system. All right? Now we'll get back over here and we'll wrap this up. Okay, so after many years of being a licensed gunsmith, and I was also a licensed FFL dealer, I think I have a pretty good concept of what comes back and what the issues happen to be. Before you buy a firearm, why don't you hit me up in the comments, ask me. I'll give you my unbiased opinion. Do I love Glock? Yeah, I'm a Glock guy. I said it. I love Smith. There's some great Taurus guns. I'm a big Colt fan. And as a Glock guy, you won't believe this, I'm a 1911 nut. Go figure. But talk to me. And then if I can, what I'll do is I'll lead you to other videos that are reputable, number one, and some of the tests they've done on certain firearms. I'll just throw one out there for the sake of saying it. Sky Firearms, SCCY. For a $250 gun, I don't know how you beat it. The Smith & Wesson 9 SDVE for a $350 gun, another good purchase. There's so many to list. But if you have an issue and you say, hey, Charlie, what do you think of this gun? This is what I'm looking at. I can tell you what came back to the shop repeatedly, what the issue was with that gun, what I had to do to make that gun right. Or I'll tell you, you know what? You got a circumstance I don't know about. Send that gun to the manufacturer and get it replaced, or whether it be a Davidson's contract. That's another thing. When you're buying a gun, ask the dealer, are they a Davidson's supplier? Because if it's a Davidson gun, if no work gets done to it, they replace that gun free of charge, free of shipping, everything. You get a brand new gun. Can't beat that. Now, if you're dealing with other companies, I can't say the same to them. I won't even speak who they are. But Davidson's, I will tell you, you have a lifetime replacement warranty. That's great. If you send it to the manufacturer, you void the warranty for Davidson's. That's the trick. If you have a Gunsmith work on it, you void that warranty from Davidson's. So, if it's a Davidson's gun, and you got that warranty card, use it. You have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next upload. Enjoy.